Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
I love the little countdown we got today, Deidre.
Right? I love that too.
I wonder why that is.
Because we have the station owner, Mr. Tony Sweet, as our engineer today.
Hey, ladies.
Hey.
Very sexy.
Yes, we love that,
Yes,
Tony.
we are.
So we're excited because we hardly ever get to see you nowadays.
I
as far
know.
as through our show.
We
You're
always
here,
have
but-
Jarvis,
Yeah.
J-Love.
J-Love, who we love. But today we have the honor of our manager. So
Yes.
thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Dang, that was little.
And happy belated birthday. You had
Yes,
a
happy
wonderful
belated birthday.
22.
All right.
Plus.
But you're looking
Times.
good. But you're looking good.
Yes, you are. Yay, so exciting. I was thinking of J-Love, Jarvis. He's in he went to visit his Alabama and went to visit his family. Deidre loves the South. So that's why I'm mentioning it, because you're like, oh my gosh, Jarvis is in the South. Like,
I love it.
just get on the plane and go.
I know. Because, over the summer we had a chance to go back to the South.
Yes.
Well, go to the South, period. I've never been to certain states.
Right,
so
right.
I just love that. Yeah, I love the house. I think the furthest I've gone, well, I've been to New York, but so I skipped over, flew over, but Louisiana
Doesn't count.
Right? Georgia, all that. So I loved it though. I love the hospitality.
Yeah.
I just love the warmth and, the food. And, that does it every time. So,
Right.
And the people were really warm. The people that I encountered were very nice. So
That's always cool.
So
That's always
Jarvis
cool.
is having a good holiday time,
I
I'm
know,
sure.
but like I was telling him when he was here, I always called him J-Love. And he probably should be here for this conversation. And we kind of talked about it a little bit.
Right.
But I always called him J-Love. And he wasn't aware that, like, when he would text me, I was like, oh, J-Love. And I would just text, business-wise, text something back. And so I told him about it. He goes, did you know that was my nickname?
Wow.
I was like, no way. So we kind of just had that. So I was thinking
That
about Tony. Yeah. So, everyone wants like a little fun nickname, a little extra.
Right.
But I was thinking about Tony. Like, his name is like Tony Sweet.
You want to hear my nickname from
What's
my
your-
daddy?
What is this?
You ready?
Yes.
Bonehead.
That's jacked up.
Or boner.
Oh!
I know. Don't know why.
That's jacked up, too.
Right, exactly. You're like, okay. And you just roll with it, huh? That's all you can do.
Dang.
That
But
is
like,
hilarious.
but seriously, like your regular name, Tony's Sweet. Like you can't. Tony Sweet. That is your God-given name, right?
I think that's
That is
beautiful.
so cool.
So cool. Yeah. So it was like if so sweet is awesome. So then it's like if your last name was Love, and then your last name was something heavenly, something. Yeah. So,
He said all deep, sweet love.
I know. Sounds good. Doing a Barry White on us.
And he is white. Tony is. That's funny.
Yeah.
But I was thinking just in terms of names. So my son and I were in the car and we were listening to the radio. And someone was saying, what would your stripper name be? Oh. And I'm like, my kid is 13. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Should I turn? But it was like a fun morning show. So I said, let's see where they go with this. So they said, your stripper name would be the color of your underwear and the last thing you ate.
Oh, wow.
So I was thinking and my son was thinking and he said, and I just refused to answer at that point. I don't know why. Maybe I froze up. I don't know. And I don't normally do that. But he goes, Mom, my name would be Red Burger.
Red.
He had a
burger.
hamburger.
Okay.
He had a
Right,
red
right,
underwear.
red underwear. Yeah.
Right. So I was thinking about myself today.
Mhm.
Now I just ate that what pumpkin bread with the pumpkin.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Black pumpkin
Black-
would be my name.
That's a good one.
That is black pumpkin.
Black
That is
pumpkin.
funny.
What would
was
yours
mine?
be? What is it? What's the last thing you ate?
Okay. I know,
Ooh,
right?
Commandos.
Right.
Commando
just-
Twinkie.
I just ate a piece of the banana bread. No, the marble, and my brown marble. Brown marble sugar. Let's add that to this.
Let's add that to the mix. Isn't that funny though?
That is funny.
I was like, oh my gosh.
And I think I might have thought, like, years ago, I think I've thought about, like, what would a stripper name be? Like, if, you know,
You thought
I
about
did.
for
Actually.
yourself?
Yes, for myself.
Cinnamon what? It's always cinnamon
I don't
something.
even remember what it was, but I thought about
Maybe
you know,
nowadays
think about-
salted caramel.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's so many.
Salted caramel.
I'm into
skin.
the peppermint mocha. Ooh.
Ooh.
I've been drinking those like crazy.
latte,
So.
latte, latte.
So many, right? Oh my gosh.
That was
But
funny.
but it was cute. But we had nicknames growing up.
What was
too.
mine?
Prilly. All
Did I
kinda-
really ask her that? Did she really
Yes.
say what it was? Only my grandma and my cousin are allowed to call me that because I could not
Really? What is
stand
that?
it because it's April
April.
Prilly.
Prilly, yeah.
Like, because you can't really have a nickname for April. People try, but they only try once. Like
Oh.
I worked for this guy. I worked for this executive. And he was like, he had fun nicknames for everyone. You know, there was a girl named Carrie in the office. Hey, Care. You know, there was a girl named Tina, TT, you know, whatever. He comes to me, goes, you need a nickname. He's typing. He's not looking at me, and I'm about to roll calls for him in the corner, and I'm not really paying attention. I'm like, is he talking to me even? You know, he's just all over the place. And he said, we need a nickname for you. And he goes, how about, looks at me, goes, how about Ape?
I knew that was good. And you want to stand up and say, no.
And he goes, has anyone ever called you Ape? I said, not more than once.
Right?
True story. And he goes, okay. And he goes back to typing. You cannot abbreviate April.
No, you
It's
cannot.
just April.
No.
The Prill thing, I never liked, but I
That's
said,
pretty. I thought it
my
was
grandma,
very
rest in
cute.
peace. I always allowed her. I mean, I didn't mind her calling me that, and then my
Right.
cousin, because I have a nickname for her, which she can't stand anyway. So we go back and forth. But oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So don't even get any ideas, anybody out there. You cannot
That's
abbreviate
cute.
April.
Very cute.
No.
Yeah. I know, right?
You better not, Tony. Touch my Facebook.
And I had several between
Dee Dee. Well, yours is easy.
Dee Dee, no,
Deidre.
Deej,
That's not a nickname. That is your name.
my brother. You know, what do you always call me? Oh, no, don't even say that one.
You say Prill. I should say
I don't care. What do you used to call me?
Doobity doo.
No,
No.
Duba.
Duba. Oh, you know why? You know why? You know why? Because Deidre, because people don't say Deidre's name right. Like all through growing up, they don't know how to say Deidre. They say Deetra or Deborah. And so she always emphasizes her name. So she goes, Deidra. And then when she does that, Deidre Jordan. So she'll say that whole name. Deidre. And so as she keeps saying it, it sounds like Deidre.
Okay.
So my brother, being the older brother and
Yeah.
always the
He picked on
antagonizer
us
of our
so much.
lives,
Oh my gosh.
he decided. So it was that, and then it just became.
Duba. So you always call me Duba.
This is so idiotic.
So
my
funny.
gosh! Shout out to Keyshawn.
I know. Hi, Keyshawn.
Hi,
That's our
Keyshawn.
big brother
Miss
who
my
we
brother.
love. We miss him. Even though he's in San
Yeah,
Diego,
he's
he's 2 hours away.
2 hours away. And I
But
was
still.
just in San Diego.
Yeah, you
but it was a
were.
turnaround trip. I didn't have time to.
To see him.
I
But
had to
hopefully
be
at
here.
Christmas, I think they may come.
Yeah,
Down,
you're
so.
looking really Christmassy. I like your
Oh,
shirt.
thank you. Yeah. I thought it'd be
Looks
a
like
little
an
festive.
ornament. Oh, it
The
wasn't.
shade is real. Okay. You know. Okay, now,
The shade from the Christmas tree.
all right now. Don't. Okay.
But it's.
look at you.
But it's-
Now you got Snow White. You got crystals.
I love
and
it.
ornament.
Right?
You like
I
cute
love
too,
it. But
so.
I was not. It was a compliment. I thought I wasn't trying to call you an ornament.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I wasn't trying to go
Yeah, I
there.
like it. I think it's Thank you.
Yeah, it's very nice.
festive,
Because
you
Christmas
know.
is your favorite holiday. Is what I was going to
It
say.
really is. I love Christmas.
Yes.
I just love, I love bright lights. I love things that change your mood. Just put you in a positive mood. Anything bright.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things that you could just be all poo-poo about, but it's just something about bright lights, the music, and just the atmosphere, and
happy.
Just
It's a happy time of year, no matter what. It's
even though
supposed to
I know
be.
it can be depressing for a lot of people, different things, but for me, it lightens my mood and makes me feel good and happy. And I think because we had good childhood Christmases, we did
good memories.
Yeah, good memories. So that stuck with me.
It's funny that we mentioned memories. We're going to be talking about the 2016 year in review coming up, and we're going to have our guest today, and she is Shannon Miller, and she is an author, and she is a strategic life and business coach. So she's going to, not only will she be talking about the year in review with us for 2016, we'll be talking about goal setting for our dreams and our entrepreneurial tasks that we want to do, and just how to get to 2017 in rocking, right?
Right. How to move positive, how to change that path. If you are stuck, let's get out of that doldrum and let's move forward.
Absolutely.
Let's move together.
Absolutely. And let's get this coat shot out of my shot, right? So we're going to do all that, and we'll be right back after the break.
Speak Your Week will guide you through the process of using the power of your thoughts and words to create more positivity and success in your life, day to day and week to week. Written by It's Time to Talk's own host, April Jordan. This dynamic book will remind you of the powerful person you really are and how to use that power to create the life that you want. Want better health, success, abundance, love, and more. Within the chapters, you will discover the kind of thoughts, emotions, and words you should be speaking about the things that matter to you most. Also, included in this book are affirmations to speak each day of the week. When spoken in daily succession, these affirmations gain momentum and can help you on your journey towards the life of your dreams. There's no other way around having the life that you want. It all starts with you. Get ready to speak your week. Available for download at Amazon.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuning into the very best. It's yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle, and you got to check out my girls, Deidre and April, on their new show, It's Time to Talk, Saturdays at 5 p.m. on
ubnradio.com.
Yeah, Can We Talk for a Moment?
Hey.
Oh boy! Yeah, and I'm coming real soon with the exclusive interview.
Yes, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh boy, I almost kissed her. Oh boy.
Welcome back to It's Time to Talk. We have our guest in the studio today, and her name is Shannon Miller. And as I said, she is strategic life and business coach and author. Please welcome her to the show. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you, too. You're so accomplished. You have so many great skills, and you're so creative. But let's get down to it. What is your stripper name?
Ooh, are we going based on what you guys were talking
Yes,
about before?
color of your underwear and the last thing you ate.
That would be black crumb cake.
Oh,
I don't know if that's a dessert. Maybe it's an
no.
edible item.
it sounds pretty sexy, though.
Right?
I like
There's
that.
probably one out there.
Right?
I'm sure.
We know there's a crumb cake.
We know.
You know, we don't want to go in intelligence now. That's not sounding very nice. We're like, we're running out of names. What could we call it? Crumb cake, banana bread.
Marble. We got it all.
So many.
Okay, let's get to it. So what have you been up to? You've been on our show before. We've had you on before, and we talked about lots of wonderful things. You helped us, realize, or you helped me realize the things that I need to do to keep going forward with the things that I want to get done. And you've helped our audience as well. That's something that you do.
I know I got some good feedback, and
You
I
got
was so
great
excited.
feedback.
There's nothing I love more than when I hear that people are like, yeah, I want to follow my passion again, or I'm going to take some steps to do that. So nothing stokes me out more than that.
Yeah, fantastic. So we're going to actually touch more on that portion, maybe next segment. We're going to talk about the year in review. I really want to, we've
crazy.
We've all lived 2016. Everybody in this room,
almost
so
like
we
a
can all talk
circus.
about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm obviously the thing that stands out to me, and what Tony and I were talking about before the show, Trump, President-elect Trump. How does that affect you? I mean, what do you think about that?
This year I've just been calling it, I won't say the S word, but an S fiesta. People like show, but I'm going with, a little more multicultural. That's been my thing lately.
Yeah.
I think I was actually very surprised beyond surprised. In fact, it was very interesting. I went to a media conference. I won't say who the primetime radio guy was, but he does these media conferences, and he was like, Trump's never going to win, blah, blah, blah. And there was like, you know, swamis and diplomats from all over the world, and people are in there. They're like, it's never going to happen. But our country can surprise you. I really would like to think that, you know, I know a lot of people that said the next day they were really depressed. He took the day off, and then other people were super elated. But I don't see our country like imploding because we elected this person, whether it was her, him, whomever it is. And I also think I like to go with the half full thing. So even if you don't like him, the idea that I would hope that he would honor the humanitarian and human rights things that we voted in, and that maybe he would use his core competencies, which are business, to help, you know, get our economy going again. So I would like to think that maybe he was just a media master, because he did own the media. You got to give him that, his apprentice stuff. I mean, I don't know what happened to Hillary, but it was almost like she was like, oh, I'm going to hide away. And he was just like,
out there.
He dominated.
He did.
I mean, that was a great lesson for marketing yourself.
Right.
Any press is better than no press, and he really swallowed that
and the
up.
language he used, it was totally positive about everything he spoke about himself. He spoke it, you know. It was just like,
it's fantastic.
It's
going to be
fantastic.
wonderful.
Great,
It's going to be great.
So even if
Make America great again.
even if he was selling you the BS, it was like the way he sold it was like you believed it.
Well, I think the unique thing that was different, that I think that as Americans, people, I think in general, felt refreshed by it, even if you didn't like him, was the idea that everything was out in the open. He wore it all on his sleeve. So even if you thought he was the biggest, you know what, you didn't think he was lying because he couldn't care enough to lie. So I think people were like, well, I got this person that, you know, taking it as face value versus somebody that maybe or maybe not we think or do not think is being truthful. But so I think, you know, but I do think our country's too awake to let us backpedal, so I don't really feel afraid of that.
So I really do. But the interesting part I read recently that he said that he was surprised that he won. He thought he was going to lose because of the polls. So I was like, dang it. He already thought he was going to lose. He should have lost.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens with the vote coming. I'm so bad with that. It's been a long day.
Are you talking about the electoral?
Yeah.
Vote?
When is that?
36,
The 15th.
36 votes, right?
Yeah.
Or pardon me.
On the
thank
19th,
you.
on December 19th, they're supposed to make it official or not.
Right. It'll be interesting to see.
my
I just like to be
gosh.
hopeful that our country is smart enough to know that if things aren't right, that we're. The one thing that I do love about it, whether or not you like him or you don't like him, is the fact that I felt like for once people were awake again. People were protesting. People were being involved in politics, which is our responsibility. And truly, these are figureheads. And if we want to change things, it's really up to us. So the idea that we're putting that power into one person, it really starts with us.
Right. It really does. And I, you know, looking at everything, I was just thinking, okay, this person is in office now. I just don't want, I don't want us to move backwards. You know, I want us to continue forward because, you know, Barack Obama was very, very progressive in those terms. My thing was, I wasn't even so fearful about Trump being in, but the people around him. Because it was just like, you know, the Republicans that the people he's putting into place, you know, they are part of that whole back from George W. Bush, you know, just the whole economic downfall, you know, the type of people they're putting in, the Goldman Sachs, you know, those type of things. So that's my concern. It's not, because it's like, he's only one man. But you have to seek advice. You know, you have your cabinet, you have your, you know, people that you're putting into office. What are their views? How are they thinking? And that's where a lot of the issues come from. Because even when George W. Bush was in office, I'm sorry, Dick Cheney ran the country. George W. Bush was the puppet.
Although I only missed him in the fact that I felt like he was the greatest cartoon character. And I know that sounds horrible, but I loved watching him talk because it was like free comedy.
Deidre always said that.
George W. Bush when he got
I mean,
on camera.
he was somebody I would want to party with.
I'll give you props on that, Deidre, because Deidre has always said that from day one. She was like, I would love to hang out with him.
I was like, let's go hang and party, because you know that we would get into some trouble and he would be so fun.
He would be so fun, because I would love to see him.
So it's hard to really dislike someone. You're like, well, you shouldn't be president, but you could be my friend.
That's exactly what you say. Right. You're not good as president, but you would be the greatest
Because
friend in the world.
We all have those friends that are like, I want to do this. You're like, maybe not, but
Right,
I
right,
love ya.
right?
Yeah.
Because he said, "Fool me once, and you're never gonna fool me again." Like, that is not how that. That's not how it
Through
goes.
the first round, fool me once.
Fool once, and,
shame on you.
shame on you,
And
and
the second one, he
fool
fool
me,
me a second time.
Oh, there
I
it
can't
is.
get fooled
But
again.
the best part, see, with that look, the deer in the headlight look, you just can't. I mean, how lovable is that look? That
Yeah.
first one, like the
It was like,
Did you say another beer?
Oh my!
And I think when we, that's a nice expression.
Where's
right
my
there.
beer?
You don't have it. You do?
But as a person, and the personality that I believed he had a good heart. I could,
Yeah.
you could kind of see people's intentions and where they come from.
Yeah.
And I think he meant well.
That's
like
And
you
that's
said.
a
enough,
hard
but-
job.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh,
get
I
can't even
real. I mean,
imagine.
look at Barack Obama's hair.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And his face.
It went
He's
from black
matured.
to
I was
white
like,
in the 8 years. Yeah, his expression. He's always looking like,
Yeah.
First it was like this, and it was like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. He's,
I mean, that's
yeah.
a lot for any person, you know,
Yeah.
and then also the idea that we think that
See.
our presidents have this totality of power, which really
Right.
not to say that they're puppets, but they are figureheads.
they are figureheads, but I mean, but literally they do carry the weight of the world
They
on
do.
their shoulders. And so it will be interesting if Trump-elect gets, in office, how he is going to handle everything.
You're
because-
fired.
Right?
Can you imagine being on TV? Be
know.
like, you get out of here. You're fired.
And said, I think his personality, the way he is, it would probably be that easy for him.
Oh, yeah.
Because he
when
doesn't
gets
give a
in,
damn.
And then there's somebody that crosses him or he doesn't like, and the next day on the news we'll hear, oh, he fired.
That's why
he
everybody's-
fired.
that's
So
why
Totally,
everybody's freaking
and the
out
idea
because
that he's
we're like, this
financing
guy-
himself, like he doesn't need,
Right.
you know, he doesn't need, your money. So it'll be
Right.
interesting to
Yeah.
see for once
Right.
what kind of situation that creates. If it's going to be like a wild circus,
Yeah.
or if it will make things a little bit more equitable. So
Right.
it'll be like a big petri dish, the American petri dish.
Right.
It's
know?
going to be so
Yes,
interesting.
it is.
I want to move on to some of the other big stories that happened this year. I mean, Muhammad Ali's passing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's huge,
That
right?
is
I mean, that
huge.
was huge for people because he was the GOAT, greatest of all time. And he made that moniker up for himself.
Right.
Speaking of speaking
Yes.
out and
Yes.
making things come to light, what you speak and what you say about yourself and what you feel in the world. So, and because he was the greatest of all
Because
time.
he believed it.
Because he believed, and he was a peacemaker. He was like, I don't want to go fight in the war. I don't want to go fight people that I've never met.
Right.
That
Right.
have the same color skin as me, or that have never done anything wrong to me. Why should I go
And I
fight?
don't think a lot of people knew that he was a conscientious objector.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah.
interesting thing. And then you look at his service and like just the collection of world leaders that came out to honor him.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
kind of like legacy you would like to live.
That's
Like
such a
what are they going to
legacy.
say at your funeral?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's a testament. It
Will they show
shows
up?
how great he did live his life. And
You want somebody to be there.
Right, absolutely. Just
Yeah.
how just shows how special, because you don't know the general public. You see him and you just see him fight.
Yeah.
He's the greatest boxer, this
Right.
and that, but you don't know that other side, that personal side, the people that he actually lives he touched, people he encountered,
And that reminds me of Prince. He's another one.
Oh, that was
I
sad.
was devastated. I was like, oh my
I
god.
was like, is this really
no
happening?
way.
It's like one after another. It's like, is this really? Can we just wake up?
Yeah, there's been a lot of
this-
icons, especially in music too.
Yes.
where you're
David
like,
Bowie.
Yes.
Whoa, yeah.
Yes, David Bowie.
I mean,
yeah.
even in the last just handful of years between, Michael Jackson,
Yeah,
David
right.
Bowie,
Right.
Whitney Houston,
Yeah, now
Yeah.
Robin Williams,
Robin
and
Williams,
you're
yes.
just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And the recent one, Florence Henderson from the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
I loved
Like,
her.
oh my
I
god,
did too.
I was like, no
Because you
way.
just felt like you knew her.
Yeah.
And like she was just everybody's mom.
Yeah.
Well, these people were, in our homes
Right.
or,
We grew up with them.
soundtracks of our life.
Exactly.
Things you heard that
Yeah.
you're, the poignant landscape and
Right.
tapestry of your life.
Right.
Yeah, it really makes you think about your mortality because it's like once that generation's gone, you're like, okay, my God,
You're like,
who's
who's
we're getting
coming that's
closer,
gonna
you know,
replace-
who's next?
And then you feel like you're getting a little older when you're like, oh, the music now is crap.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or you're
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I can't even, like,
Yeah.
I always loved hip hop, but lately I'm like, I can't understand what they're saying anymore.
Okay.
Like the old gangster rap,
Girl.
I totally got it. But
yeah,
now it's
oh
like,
my
and I'm
Right.
like, what? I mean, the beats are good, but you're like, what
What is-
are
yeah.
you
I was
saying?
in the car the other day with my mom, and the song came on, and it was blase, 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 blase,
yeah,
blase.
yeah.
And she was like, "Is he saying blase, blase?" We both just fell out. Like they just forget the words. It's just blah 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 blah.
I know. I
Put
think
it to
we
a beat,
should,
and I
we
got a
should
hit.
throw down a track if that's
Yeah.
all you got to do. Get a good
Yeah.
beat and just like
Yeah.
make up some gibberish.
And I think think that's what's coming down to. Like now,
Right?
people are just so
Right.
into the music. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you can say anything, you know, and
Yes.
you're like,
So it's icons like Prince. Going back to Prince
Right.
briefly, just how he married his music, and he just took you to different levels, and you can think of a time in your life where this song came out, that song came out. The genius behind his songwriting and the musicianship, and also the song 1999. Like after 1999, he never played it ever again. He was just like, no, it's over. Why? It's pointless.
That's hilarious.
You know,
yeah.
and if you think about
Because
it,
it is kind of one of
he's-
those things. You're like, you can't really
you
sing
can't.
1999 and
Exactly. You
2009.
can't. Right.
But you know, but how many people would go on some Vegas trip playing all their tunes, no matter
yeah.
what, just to make some money? But he wasn't like that. And one thing that I loved about
Well, I
hearing-
don't think he needed to. Those iconic
No,
status.
that's
was-
true.
yeah.
But one thing that I loved about what he did, what you found out that he did when he was alive, is that he gave so
my
much. He
God,
was such a
yes.
philanthropist, but he never wanted anybody to know.
yeah,
He always said that the organizations that he gave to, the people that he gave to, he said, you can't mention that I did this, that I had anything to do with this,
Right.
because it's not about me. You know, I just thought that was
it was amazing. Even when
So beautiful.
you know, Lauryn Hill from the Fugees.
Oh my gosh, I love her.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
she went to
Well,
present-
even her own solo album was
amazing.
my
that
gosh.
Zion song. Is that not a magical
Oh
one?
my
Every time I
gosh.
hear, I just was playing that
That
not
whole
that long
freaking
ago. It's like every
album.
time it just totally passionate.
But she's amazing. And the story on that, when she went away to jail for a while, Prince was taking care of her children. Was like,
Oh, that I didn't know.
Prince was watching her kids.
he was watching her.
What were they
kids.
doing?
No, I mean financially, just making sure.
Oh,
that
I
they
thought you
were
were like babysitting.
making sure that they were.
Like, could you
at
imagine
least
Prince
that's what-
babysitting
yeah.
you,
But,
being your babysitter?
but just stories like that.
Yeah.
Well, remember how she, here she's doing music and gets pregnant,
Yeah.
and this whole big thing of like keeping it, not keeping it, and
Yeah.
and then you go again about people and life and their opinions and how you really have to walk your own path.
Right.
You
right,
do.
Yeah.
I think
so-
her daughter's a model now.
Is
There's
she?
this motivational guy, Robin Sharman. He said a cool thing. When I saw him recently, he said something about, when you come into the world, people cry. So live your life that people cry when you also leave the world.
Oh.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, and it was just like more like empowered,
Yes.
whatever
Yes.
your light is to give, like give it
Yep.
fully.
Yeah, absolutely.
right.
That's what we're here
That's
to
why
do.
we're here.
Absolutely.
Oh, is that Lauryn Hill's daughter? Yeah, she's a
Oh,
she's
look at
beautiful.
her. She
She's
looks so much like her
beautiful.
mom.
Wow.
Totally.
Wow.
Look, there she is.
Gorgeous.
He's showing the picture now. Wow.
Wow, she looks a lot like her.
Then you're like,
Sheesh.
she's all grown up.
Yeah, I know.
You're like, slow down,
I
Father
know.
Time.
That's another
Exactly.
thing. Like, time is just flying.
I mean, this year like blew by.
Yeah,
It was
it
like
did.
such a circus.
it did.
I enjoyed the Olympics. Did you guys
Uh-huh.
enjoy
I
that?
did. Yes.
I never
love
miss the
yes,
Olympics.
yes.
There's
I
something
love
I
the
just love
Summer
the
Olympics.
pageantry, and I love. I just love this unified world spirit. It reminds us like how much we are really tied
Yeah.
in a beautiful way.
Yes.
Like for a moment, if we could really live that,
Right.
what this world would be
We
like.
could
oh
truly
my gosh,
live
it's
that.
unbelievable.
And
John
I think
Lennon's-
for that reason, Shannon, I didn't want it to end because I felt
No,
like
it does.
I
You're like
felt
kind of like
such
oh.
brotherhood with the world.
It did, yeah.
And and you just kind of you rooted for others, and
Yeah.
people who, of course, America and whoever's at the top of their game. You just hats off.
Right.
But it was just felt so good to just cheer on our country, the solidarity that we showed.
Right.
It was beautiful,
was
and our
much
teams
needed.
did so well. The
They
gymnastics
did.
team did so well. Track and field. I mean, we really excelled.
I think there was 607 medals altogether. I think the U.S. earned.
That is
Wow.
not a statistic I could pull up, but we cranked it. We cranked it out.
I think I saw
And then
that.
that I'm always very patriotic anyway, but that always makes me feel like go Americans,
Yeah.
like super.
It strengthens us, like,
And especially
absolutely.
considering we really felt some tragic hits worldwide this year
Right.
too. Not
Right.
being a downer, but it is a
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
There's been a
Absolutely.
lot of crazy stuff going on that just between Orlando, between Paris, that like it stops your soul like
Yes.
dead. In
Right.
that was a really really bad.
That
one.
was
rough.
yeah.
That was a bad
rough.
one. Sorry
Right.
about that.
Yeah,
Right.
no,
And we had-
No, I meant the
true.
word I just used,
Oh,
but
oh,
you
oh,
know,
yeah,
how
yeah.
the subconscious
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. I mean, we had Americans affected, that lost their lives over in Paris.
Yeah.
Young lady, I think she was from San Diego or something.
Oh, okay.
University or something, but but yeah,
And
it's just
people
been-
going to see music, and then people going to a nightclub that they
Yeah.
think they're safe and free in the
Right.
country that
Right.
that you live
you know
in
that
that
we're
says
able
we're
to
safe
go
and free.
protest.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing when people complain about this country that I, with we do have isolated incidents like that, but overall,
Right.
doesn't matter what side you're on. We can go out and protest.
Right.
Right.
We're not going to lose our life over it. We can be who we are. We can speak our mind, and that's a treasure.
It
really is.
It is because communism, living in a dictatorship, which some people think that Trump is going to lead us into. Someone was telling me the other day, they're like, "Oh my gosh, our freedom is over with." We're going to be
people love to do the doom. It's kind of like how every generation does the thing of like, when I was a kid, we didn't have things like that,
or
you know what? That's
life was better.
I love that she mentioned that because I saw something. I don't know where I saw it, but people had their cell phones, and it was like a dinner table or something, and everyone at the dinner table was like, "Oh, I just love Sundays when we get together and talk at dinner time." And everybody at the table had their cell phones, and they were looking. No one was talking. But there's also this picture back in the 1920s. Tony might be able to pull it up. I don't know. But they were saying when the newspaper first came out, and everyone on the block is reading the paper. No one's talking to anyone. So it's just like, it's just a sign of times. Here we are with this type of technology, and we're able, hey, we got our news in our hands, in computer form. So.
Yes. I know. I was walking, I observe people sometimes, and just even on the street, people are just like looking down. You're on a busy street. You're walking on the street. I'm like,
that's the thing.
I'm like, oh my gosh. This one guy, he was crossing the street and he's looking at his phone the whole time. I'm like, look around you. You're crossing an intersection.
Well, I always love when people feel like the moment that they step off, if there's a crosswalk, they're in an imaginary force field of protection that no longer do they need to participate in the process of their life. It's like, there I go. I'm just going to, and it's like crazy.
Field.
You're like, are you out of your mind?
Like in the cartoons.
Totally.
The bubble.
Exactly. But it is kind of weird when you go to a restaurant and you see, and granted, I'm sure we've all been guilty of it, but when you see a whole family out and everyone's like,
yeah, it kind of saddens me because I did see a family like that.
And you're like,
and the kids.
Maybe you should stay home and put the phone down and play a game.
Right. And the wife, the dad was actually on the phone, and the wife was interacting with the kids, and they just looked like they wanted dad to pay attention to them, and it just wasn't happening.
And probably wifey probably wanted the same thing.
They just looked like they did, and I was just like, that's.
Well, they talked about too how bad it is that people have been using it in bed a lot, and that kind of can disrupt your special time. And it's like, okay, honey, I'm feeling really sexy about you and that piece of technology. But a lot of people get in bed and instead of talking or having that be a sacred space, it's more TV, more noise, more whatever.
Right. I mean, I understand that because starting my business, I remember I was in the bed and I would be on my iPad.
Well, I think there's a balance. I mean, I've done it, on laptop,
like
but there's a balance between like all the time where is there a person even next to you, or is it just you just give the phone its own pillow?
Yeah.
Your own little
No,
space.
at the time it was someone next to me, but it was like, but they would fall asleep.
You're just funny.
Well, if they're asleep, that's like the go zone. You're like, okay,
so
they're asleep now.
Then I had no choice at that point and just start working it out. But yeah, no, a little too TMI, but anyway.
Right, it's all good.
Hey, however you got to do it.
Hey, it's time to talk, and that's what we do.
Right.
I do want to mention also something that was very prolific this year: Black Lives Matter.
Oh yes.
I have to mention that because we have witnessed, and Shannon talked about us being awake, and I think America was, whether you like it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, we have seen a lot of situations where people were killed because of the color of their skin, and by police officers, peace officers, and it on Facebook Live, and so,
that's just unbelievable.
That happened this year. Those things happened this year.
And I know, isn't that mind-boggling that was this year?
That was this
year.
There
was so much.
Yes.
And it was just like a story was popping up just every few weeks or something.
It's a movement, and however you feel on whatever side of the coin, I just know, and of course being Black, that it does not mean no one else's life matters. Right. Does not matter. Right. It just means that we matter too.
We matter too.
So I almost wish they had made the moniker that way. Black Lives Matter too.
Right.
But it's not. So you're kind of open to that interpretation. But we're in this digital age here, and it's unfortunate that it's happening. But I think it's great that we can.
Well, we need checks and balances.
Witness it with the cameras because some people are just blind to it,
well,
or just refuse to understand that it's been going on in our communities for years, and we've known this for years. And how do we explain it?
Right.
You show it and you see it for your own eyes.
Now you see it.
Well, and I think the challenging part too with law enforcement and the average citizen is there's always going to be a bias in terms of how you feel in terms of getting a fair shake, if you will, with the court system and this and that. Yes, we'd like to say that it's, equitable.
Right.
But when it comes to it, nobody likes to believe that the people that are supposed to be there to protect us are not doing that.
Right.
So for people to make the leap, now people can see, and instead of also clumping like every police officer is a criminal, every black person is a this, every this person is a that. But what I did like is that people started coming together more. You were seeing people standing up.
Right.
And the idea, again, back to the idea that we are a brother's keeper. Like, we should take care of each other. It's really not that complicated.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I totally
had an
agree.
interesting conversation when I was working in the mall the other day, and I was speaking with a gentleman. He had to be like maybe in his 70s or something like that. And just to hear the difference, ideas from his point of view from mine,
Okay.
And he had actually 2 biracial children. But he was just saying he couldn't understand the whole Black Lives Matter and all that kind of stuff. And I said, kind of probably similar to what you were saying. I said, it's not that we're saying our lives matter more than anyone else's. It's that we just matter too. I said, it's like this. I said, especially think about it. I said, young black males from the age of however that young boy, Little Rice, I forgot
12.
his name. Yeah, 12. So from 12 to about 24. I said, these are kids. These are adolescents. These are teenagers. I said, they're getting killed for no reason. Just, just for if they have a gun or if they have drugs or if they're just being pulled over, they're getting killed. They're being killed first, and then questions are being asked later. I said the difference in that is, I said, can you compare how many 12-year-old white boys from 12 to 24 are just walking home? How many stories do you hear about them? Or I've seen footage where there's been young white males with guns threatening the police. The police will not kill them. They will do whatever it takes to tase them, to help them calm down. They're drunk half the time, all kind of things like that. But they're not being shot right away. As a young boy walks up with a black male, he's being shot before he's even asked anything, And so I'm just saying, so I had to kind of let him kind of just see what side I'm coming from, because I was saying the whole point of it is that we just want to be treated fairly. We want the same I can't think of the word, but we just want the same
rights and the same things that we've grown up and seen in America. Says
for everybody.
We mentioned it earlier.
For what the country stands for, we want the same.
That's it. We're
done
here.
to us.
We're not going back to Africa. I'm not going.
Right.
I
don't even know anybody.
Well, some of my friends
going.
that are
I'm just not.
African American are like, I don't even know why you're calling me that. I don't have any family from Africa. I've never been to Africa.
And that's the other side of that coin,
Yeah.
So
I
love
get
that.
I love
get all
the word
that.
black.
And then it's nice to have a conversation too, because like I grew up,
I do too.
and you'd say black, white, and then
black
I was
Twinkie.
like,
Black,
what am I
black,
supposed to
black
say
pumpkin.
anymore?
That's me today.
And then I look at myself, I'm not really white. I'm a little more peachish,
Right.
so-
Well,
Crayola peach, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
Exactly.
The whole point I just told him, I said the bottom
No.
line is we just want the fairness of that, whatever this country stands for,
Yeah.
fair equality for everybody. We
Yeah.
want to be treated the same way.
Exactly.
I said that's why we're in an uproar,
Nothing
because
wrong with
we're
that.
just not being treated in the same manner as. It's almost like when you see a group of white boys and they're just being rambunctious and they're just doing what boys do. Let them, you give them a pass. But you see a group of young black teenagers. Oh, it's a gang. Oh, they're up to no good.
It's threatening,
threatening, and it's this and that.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
where
and there's that
that's where the
bias too
disparity
with
comes
males
from.
and females too in general. Like,
Yeah.
boys will be boys,
Yeah.
but girls, you can't
Right.
act like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all we're saying. But so in our community, those are the issues that we deal with. It's like we're not treated fairly. It's not.
And what did
so
I see?
same.
Was it Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, two of them, that did a peace march around that time, a community march?
oh, the
right,
game.
right, with the game.
It was
Yeah,
the
I'm
game.
sorry,
game
the
and
game.
and
Yeah.
Snoop.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
No more hunt no more.
Hunt, yeah.
no
And
more.
I think that,
That was the movement.
when it comes down to these issues, the idea of having people that are influential, that are in the media, that are participating, being, role models.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
don't care what side the coin you're on, what color you're on, like
Right.
we need more of that. And the other thing that I always wondered,
You know what? We're gonna take a break,
Sure.
and I knew this was gonna happen. I kept looking at the clock, and I was like, when we get together, we
I
need
know,
2
right?
hours. We always do. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more of this conversation.
Did you know that your skin is your body's largest organ? And you should be aware of what you're applying to it. The more natural products you use, the better. The best place to start is with Did It for Love handmade natural body products, made with pure organic ingredients. Our Shea Body Butter Moisturizer is whipped to perfection and hydrates dry, cracked skin and protects from UV rays. Did It for Love Shea Body Butter Moisturizer is infused with essential oils. You can choose from scents like lavender, vanilla and sandalwood, white rose, and many more. Our deodorant has a fresh scent that not only works against odor, but also reduces sweat. With this toxin-free deodorant, you can feel fresh and confident all day long. You can also keep your lips healthy and kissable with our handmade lip balms. In healing and fruity scents like tantalizing peppermint to sensational green apple. Our products promote healthy, youthful-looking skin and is safe for the whole family, vegan-friendly, cruelty-free, and gentle enough for cancer survivors and those going through treatment. Go to diditforlove.com today. Did It for Love, toxin-free for your whole family.
Hello, welcome back. I kind of want to change the name of the show to Interesting Chata because it's been so interesting to me. Or Banta. No, I like what you said off camera. Can you say that?
What I was just saying is also on the other side of the coin is in terms of law enforcement police officers, I always felt, and I'm no expert in this area, but that instead of putting police officers continually in a dangerous place, rotate people around, because I don't care. You know, a long time ago, I worked temporarily at a crematory, and I'm not even kidding you. That's a whole story for another show. But anyway, they didn't do the whole thing there, but needless to say. So everybody there was so bland about all these deaths and everything. So any environment, we're all going to adapt.
Right.
And then it starts becoming us versus them. Yes, thank you, desensitized. So I think that taking that away from the component, the equation, could really be a benefit.
I agree with that. I used to say that all the time.
I think
I'm like,
that's
if you
brilliant.
can't take someone who lives in maybe a suburbia, community, and bring them down to, the lower, unfortunately, like ghettos or whatever you want to call them.
Lower economic
and then
areas.
expect them to relate. You just can't do it. And it's like, you got to get to know the people. You have to, and so.
Like she said, mix it up.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
Mix it up.
mix it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and introduce to the people that you're, policing, you're protecting, you're serving.
Yes.
Get them involved in the community. That's why I love some
I
of the
mean,
videos,
I think that's the thing that we're missing. My grandparents were really involved with like the Junior Chamber of Commerce, Rotary, Kiwanis.
Yeah.
Like our younger generation were not getting involved in those community activities as much, and those keep our community together.
Very good point.
Yeah, very good point. So let's mix it up a little bit. Let's talk about 2017. What we got
Goal
going
setting.
on. This is our last live show of 2016. I tell you, it's been wonderful. Deidre and I decided in June to form this new talk show of ours. It's Time to Talk, and for me, it's just been such a blessing.
Yes, it
we've
has.
been, like I said, June, 6 months now.
Which was funny because the last time we had lunch.
Yes.
There was that conversation.
There was
about,
a
"Hey, are you guys ready? Is
conversation.
it time to split and go on your own?"
So fitting. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's
So-
like full
Full circle.
circle.
That's what I was looking for. Full circle, totally. So I just
we need
feel
to go
like,
have some chicken fried steak again.
and talk about the next half circle so it can go full.
Right.
Makes sense. But I love that we made this decision, and I think it's important to make decisions.
Right.
Especially going into the year, we can have thoughts and we can have, I want to do this, I want to do this, but isn't it important just to make an actual decision?
Yes, it is. And I'm not always a master at it myself. And the one thing I think with people with goals is a good starting point is before we go into the year, don't do the whole New Year's resolution thing.
Right.
Do this is a just for me thing, okay?
Okay.
Because you can call it whatever you want, but let's get real how often New Year's resolution works. You're either going to do it or you're not going to do it.
That's the truth.
Secondly, I think a good practice before is we go through the year and we might have had a hard time. We might not be where we want to be. We might be almost there, or we're there, and we lose. And then our society, it's constantly like it's never enough. It's never enough, and we lose sight of all the awesome things we've done for the year. Because you get to the end, you're like, I'm not feeling great about myself, or I am, or I've gained a couple pounds. So writing a list of all the things, your small triumphs, your big triumphs, that can be more time with your kids. That can
write
be
a note to write my
anything.
list.
And
I
make
love that.
that list, because then you will be blown away.
Right.
And that also means like having strong relationships with your friends and your family. This isn't only about generating more revenue. This is about the quality of the totality of your life. Whether that's self-care, whatever it is you need to dial in, maybe we need to dial in the whole picture? Maybe it's a segment, maybe two things. And oftentimes you'll find that two things, if you're having a couple things, they can have kind of a linear connection. Sometimes if you're having a problem in this area, you can have a problem in this area.
Yeah, it's connected. Yeah.
You know, love and money can be connected very intimately, or you know, whatever the case may be.
Wow.
So I think that's a good place to start, to first focus on what you've done.
Yeah.
Then it also gets you motivated, and then focus on maybe taking a pot or two off the stove. Because I am terrible. I got a little ADD of like doing too many things simultaneously.
Right.
So you're like, 5 pots is not really realistic.
Guilty.
So
Yes.
focusing on 2, if you got a side hustle and it's 3, but maybe do like the magic diamond of like no more than 3.
Right.
Really probably 2, and really to be super duper 1. But you know, everybody's, if you're trying to get somewhere, you got maybe need to do a little side hustle or this other job or that. But once you got too many things going, and I'm guilty of it, so I'm a master at knowing.
Me too, because
like,
it's like
shiny objects.
right. It's like jack of all trades, master of none.
Right, right,
you know?
right.
So
Yes.
yeah, no, I agree with that, and I had to do that for myself, because I was same thing. I was trying so many different things. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was working full time. Always had other little things going on the side hustles and everything. But when I finally was able to step into this full time, my own business, it was like, okay, let me focus on that. And then
And look at what you're doing. You've got these kiosks going at the mall. This was
Yeah.
from an idea of
Yes.
these little products.
Right.
You doing, you know, I remember when we were talking about the farmer's market, and now you're fully
Yeah.
all in.
Yes, exactly. So
Girl.
yeah, girl. So yes, no, it takes focus, and it takes
And
it
it's
takes
scary, you know, because you're like, I'm
Absolutely.
losing this thing, but making room for that. So
Right.
that's a whole part of the journey, too.
You do.
Yeah.
You know, but it's something that
to actually let go and
Right. To let room for something
Grab
else.
on
And it's
something
not
else.
always easy.
It's not because a little voice told me, which I believe is, you know, my spiritual is God and everything, and it said, whatever you're gonna do, just keep it simple. Keep it simple, and that helped me so much. I heard those words that said "keep it simple," and it just did something to me. And I was like, yeah. And so I just started with one thing, and then just started growing from there. I'm like, okay, let me just focus on here. Then and it just started building. And next thing you know, I was like, wow. I mean, it astonished me.
And isn't it funny, we do overcomplicate, you know, everything. And I think in the new year, for people to think, you know, it's like prioritize a few things that are important to you. Like to me, you know, having a good connection with God, to me is something I find important, but your higher power, spirituality, whatever that is to you, making time for that.
Absolutely.
And however it is that suits you, some self-care time, which is super vital. And I mean, just starting in some super basic places like that, and giving yourself
because I think
a break.
when you do, I was gonna say
meditation for me just helped me so much. Getting centered and getting focused. You know, because when you have that chatter, you have these thoughts and everything's going through your mind. You're like, you know,
like a
you're
constant,
you wake up and it's like, okay, I got to do this today. I got that. I got bills. I got this. You know, but you have to start. You have to get centered first before you start your day, before you walk out that door, because it's going to be so much coming at you. And meditation has been just phenomenal for me personally.
Yeah, not being afraid to spread some love.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
Absolutely.
huge thing. Like, we're here to add more light to the world. So no matter what you're going through, if you think you're going through something, somebody else is going through something.
Right.
If you can't help yourself in the moment, help someone else. The more love and light we spread,
it's beautiful.
I mean, that fuels everything. It fuels our creativity,
Right.
getting out and playing, being silly, flying a kite, goofing off, all
Yes.
those things.
And we're supposed to do that.
We
Totally.
are.
People think when you're
Listen,
I mean, I
supposed to
love
be so
dressing
serious.
up and flying kites and playing with
Absolutely.
remote control cars. Your
There's nothing wrong with
creativity
that.
is
Right.
totally.
There's nothing wrong with still being a kid.
Right.
Never losing that.
No, actually, I
that
think
fun
there's
side of
something
yourself.
wrong with not being like that.
Yeah, exactly. I was just to touch on the meditation thing and getting clarity and getting centered. We are mind, body, and spirit.
Right.
If we work together, our minds, our body, and our spirit as one, oh my gosh, we will all just soar. Talk about kid-like.
Right.
Talk about fun. Talk about life of your dreams.
Because you're happy, you're giddy, you're passing on that energy to someone else. You're able to motivate or
and
inspire
you rise
someone
above
else.
the problems and the worries and all that crap. You don't even see it. You're like,
Right.
what? What happened? You know, you don't even see the car crash over there because you know. So, oh my God, you see the accident? And no, I didn't. But I got a free drink at Starbucks. You know, it's
Right.
like that. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
And I think one other thing to think about is, you know, I know that everybody's been in an upheaval with politics and letting go of the anger, which
Oh,
I will
that's
say
huge,
a handful of
Shannon.
years ago, like going through some stuff, I remember I could definitely be a little pissed off, a little bit of a hothead, not outwardly, but just internally. Like instead of that thing like, you're going to succeed just because that, like, instead of this peaceful calm, like healing that anger and letting it go. And the weirdest thing is, as I watched that person walk away, there was a little part of me that kept almost going, is this Shannon still going to be interesting? Is she still going to be passionate and crazy and wild and whatever? So I'd feel myself almost like throwing the line
Getting
up
her
to
back.
go,
Come
I'm
back.
not sure really
Yeah.
that. And once the anger goes, man, it is unbelievable. Like
Beautiful.
the lightness.
Right.
Wow.
Right. I
That's,
could
that's
relate to
huge
that,
and much
totally,
needed.
totally.
I'm glad you brought that up because it's the healing and the forgiveness.
And
And, letting go of the
too,
anger,
'cause the
forgiving.
same thing this year. I dealt with a lot of anger, and different things, and between that and the forgiveness, and
And think about when you see it on TV, something pivotal where you have these two clashing sides and somebody like comes together and gives a hug or whatever. That's what touches you, not people fist on fist in the street,
right,
you know?
right, exactly,
And being maybe that person that says I love you more often. Maybe leading by example.
right.
It's not always easy to say I
It's-
love you or
man,
extending yourself.
right.
But
That
you
is
know, a
letting go of
trick
the
for the
ego
new
for
year,
real.
smile at people a little bit more often.
Can you
Because on
please?
the street,
Can we
you know what's cool?
please?
You start smiling at people and they look at you
Yes.
first. Like some people
Like, are you
will look at
crazy?
you like,
Yeah.
you're looking
Do I
at
have
me.
something in my tooth?
But then once in a while, like people, you get used to it. You're more comfortable,
Yeah.
and you
Right.
get it back, and it is
Yes.
intoxicating. And if you
Yes.
have a crappy day, that can totally turn it upside down. Say hi to someone else.
Right.
Smile, and all of a sudden you're like, "Holy smokes!" It's like the Christmas lights for
Right.
your soul.
And
Right.
we have it so backwards because some people think like, oh, if someone's smiling all the time, there's something you watch out for those person. You can't. I've heard people say that like you can't trust someone who's always smiling. It's like what? Are you
It's
kidding
called
me?
doo-doo-doo. Got some issues to work on.
You know,
That's for
exactly.
another
It's
show.
like, backwards,
Right.
You know, should
You're
be
like
the
a little
opposite.
half empty much.
Right.
Yeah,
Maybe
so.
people can start with your book. Talk about your book. We'll be wrapping up the show, but I want you
Okay,
to talk about your
so
book
on
and-
Amazon you can get my book. It's called Sparks for the Spirit, Quotes to Fuel Your Inner Fire. And it's a book of 170 quotations to just kind of like get you focused on thinking right, feeling right, that type of thing. So
yeah, very positive. Very,
Yeah.
very half full.
I like that was like, to give people little nuggets, where you can
Yes.
pick it up, read it, it can sit with you, you're having a
Yes.
day, that
Yes.
kind of thing.
It's like tools. That's what
Yeah.
I love having tools through life. And so I have things, it's things like that. April's book sometimes helps me. I read some of your Facebook posts, Shannon.
Oh, yes.
Your quotes and stuff,
That's what I'm
Shannon.
saying. Give out your social media information.
Okay, so I am doing a little special thing until the end of January. January 21st, until now, if you go sign up for my newsletter, somebody will win a 1-hour free strategy session. So whether that means you need to know how to grow your business a little bit more or you're in transition, you can find my info at shannonmiller.me. I'm on Twitter at gurugeekgirl.com.
Do you just getting all your
I
information?
am doing it now 'cause
I'm
business
on
strategy would be
LinkedIn at
great.
shannonsimonemiller.com, and I am on Instagram, shannonsimonemiller.com, and Shannon Simone Miller, sorry, not .com, Shannon Simone Miller on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome.
On Facebook and Instagram. You can find her everywhere. Just like you can find us. We want you to follow us as well. It's time to on Twitter at It's Time to Talk 3. I don't ever give out the Twitter thing because I always forget about it.
Oh,
we got to step up
really?
our Twitter
Yeah.
game, girl.
We do.
There it is. There's your first goal for 2017.
Oh, let me do it
No
now.
more social media
Not January
blast.
1st, because
Yes.
January 2nd will be over. No.
Yeah, and that's been my thing. I just haven't been really doing social media like I should.
Gotta get it
but
back going.
Well, I think
We
it's
really
good to make a
do.
schedule because otherwise it's really overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it
that's how
can
I
really
feel.
suck a lot of time. And we can do another show on awesome tools
Yeah.
or
We'll
a
have
little write-up
to.
for your readers that there's some great tools to automate that process so that you're not sucking your
You know
brain
what?
dry.
Right.
These
And,
issues cannot be solved in 10, 15 minutes.
No.
It's
We could
ongoing.
just sit here for a week.
It's ongoing.
Oh my gosh.
So we also want you to follow us on Facebook at It's Time to Talk Show and also on Instagram at It's Time to Talk Show. We sincerely thank you, Shannon,
Thank
for
you.
being on the
Yes,
show.
And I can't wait to
again.
see you guys in 2017.
You know, we'll be there.
All
We'll be
right.
there.
Thank you, Shannon.
So we
Love you.
thank you, our audience. We love you so much. Thank you for tuning in for 2016. We're going to do it again. 2017. We love you so
Your
much.
conversation is your affirmation. God bless. Happy holidays.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays.
Mwah.